WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Scotland. Today I have the inaugural release of the Raasay Distillery 2020. Yay! Now this is an interesting package, I must say. So if you just take a look at here, you have the Raasay, you have the bottle here, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. Of course, you can do what I did, and you put the bottle in the wrong way. And then you have the barcode on the front side, and then the Raasay on the back side, which we don't want. What I didn't notice in my German video, and I must be really ashamed, is I just packaged it back up. But actually on the side, there's a little secret compartment here. And if we are very, very smart, we can pull this out. And we get a little goodie in the form of here a nice little information package. So Scotch whiskey, Isle of Raasay, Hebridean single malt. Now we have different regions of Scotland. We have lowlands, we have highlands, we have Speyside, we have Isle. But we don't have officially would be Hebridean. But they're trying to get that in there. So they use that as a locating indicator. This guy here, Alasdair Day, I actually interviewed him in Berlin in 2000 and must have been 2018 now, by the way. Wow, a long time ago. He was very, very great guy, great distillery, great thing that they're doing here. They're the first people that actually have built a legal distillery on the island of Raasay after many, many years of illegal distilling. So first of all, we have a real cork here, and we have a very beautiful, beautiful cork lid here at the top. Very, very nice. They're very proud of their location, good packaging. The second thing you notice is, of course, the bottle. And the bottle here actually shows fossils, and it's very, very rough, but it's nice to hold. And look here, you see the fossil on the side there, and you have another fossil here. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, weird kind of bottle. It's everything's rounded. It's good in the hand. You get all the information here on the side that you also have in the back of the packaging, which is nice. Population of the island, 161. So I'm sure they'll have to change that about once a year, but that's okay. And there's actually a nice little fossil here that you can hold it here and pour and do everything very nicely. Now the first thing that I notice is it's a rosé. Now what we have here are 7,500 bottles. And at the very beginning, they used here first filled Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniel barrels. American oak, very, very nice. And then they recast or regauged or re-racked them into 121 first filled Bordeaux red wine casks. And they let it mature there. This is whiskey base number 163731. And all this information is actually here in our little booklet, which I think is very, very nice. So it was released in November of 2020. Well, arrived in Germany in December. It's 52%. It's lightly peated, natural color, non-chill filter. Yay! So 100% Scottish barley grown. That's Concerto, which is also nice. And it's malted to 48 ppm. Yay! Now the nice thing about this is starting in 2021, there's a farmer named Andrew Gillis. I think it's the father of the other Gillis that works at the distillery as the operations manager. He's growing barley, so there'll be 100% local barley starting 2021. And they're using normal distiller's yeast. They have their own little water source, and they typically have either a 5-day fermentation, which is 6 times a week, or they have a 4 times just the 3-day-a-week fermentation, depends on the weekends. So it's filled at 63.5% into the casks, and it's all matured and bottled on the Isle of Raasay, which I think is a fabulous, fabulous point. So if you take a look at Talisker, you take a look at anything from Islay, you take a look at anything, most things from Highland Park, you will not see very many warehouses, rickhouses, dunnage warehouses on these islands at all. Tobermory with the Isle of Mull, also the case. Most of the whiskeys actually then matured in the highlands, in the lowlands actually of Scotland. There's big, massive warehouses that the big boys have, Pernod Ricard, Diageo, and all the rest, William Grant and Son, and they have their whiskey in different warehouses there, where they don't normally do it on the island, and they don't normally bottle it. Well, Springbank's a good exception to the rule, but they're in space, not in Speyside, they're in Campbelltown. So I'm going to compare this. If you know my channel by now, you know that I love comparing things. And I'm going to compare it to a brand new Scottish distillery called Annandale. And this is a man of sword. This is smolderingly smoky single malt Scotch whiskey. This was produced in 2017, so it's also 3 years old. The only thing is, this is cask strength from an STR cask, and this is 61.9%. This is 52, so this is basically 10 percentage ABV points higher than this. So look at the differences. STR, Rosé, the Bordeaux casks were very, very wet, and that really influences whiskey a lot. Even the color here in the bottle, if you take a look, you can see how rosé that is. It's a little bit like peach, almost like a peach daiquiri or so. All right, good, good. But I just love the concept. I love what they're doing there. I like the bottle. I like the design. They have a cask program. They have a hotel where you can come. They say it's one of the most beautiful places in all of Scotland to be in the island Raasay. They have one wash still, 5,000 liters. They have one spirit still, 3,600 liters. They're not going to be producing millions and millions of liters here. This is very, very local. This is very, very single malt. This is very, very, nothing's going to the blend industry. This is what they're using, and they're going to be producing this in the future. All right, good. On the nose. Now, my problem is immediately I picked up a little bit of sulfur. After the sulfur, I picked up a little bit of lactose, acid, baby spit. And then after that, I picked up a little bit of metallic type of strawberry daiquiris. This is young. This is not something I'm going to go wow about. I'm sorry. And now I'm going to ask my question of the day now, because it's the question of the day. How much are you willing to pay for an inaugural release? 125 euros. I can go online to WhiskyBase number 163371, and it's all sold out in Germany and Europe, basically, by the way. And I can pay 350 euros for this bottle. Why? I just did the Need the other day, which was batch 2 and batch 3 after batch 1 was sold out also. And the bottle started going for 200 plus euros. And now the batch 2 and the batch 3 are there for 59 euros. Yay. How much are you really willing to pay for inaugural release? This is a 3-year-old whiskey. Is it 50 euros? Or dollars or pounds? Is it 80? Is it 100? Is it 125, which is went for and people went crazy about it? On the secondary market, it's up over 250, up to $300. Is that going to be the price now of inaugural releases? $200, 200 euros, 200 pounds? I'm not even willing to pay that for my videos, and I share the bottles, and I own 5 CL of each and every bottle. That's it. That's just way out of any type of proportion that's necessary. And usually the inaugural release is not the most delicious. Wait a year and then you're going to get the better ones. Wait another year and you're going to even get a better one. And this is what's happening with our Waterfords, with our Nickneen, with our Annandales, with everything else. The older they get, 8 years at least, that's where you're going to get the wow. After 10 years, 12 years, 15, 13, 16 years, I'm not sure if they're going to actually continue up and go, oh, getting better. It's going to go flatten the curve. But hey, I think 8 to 12 years is where even here in Scotland, the whiskeys should be, even with the excellent cask management that they now have and all the knowledge and everything they're doing to make these whiskeys great. It still needs the time, the cask, to be excellent. And this is not in my opinion, excellent. As I said, milk acid or the lactose acid. As I said, a little bit of a metallic moment. Now I do get a little bit of smoke, a whiff of smoke. I do get the strawberry daiquiri moment here. 52%, so they diluted it down from the 63.5 in the cask strength. And were able, from the 121 casks that they had, to make 7,500 bottles worldwide. And I have the opportunity here to share one with you. Cheers. Just not my wheelhouse, so sorry. There is a sweet red wininess about this whiskey. There's a nice little bit of a whiff of smoke coming in afterwards. It's not a smoke bomb. It's lightly peated, as I said. Very, very nicely done. Um, but it's young. It's a little still bright, a little bit too bright for my personal taste. It's not. Never gonna go out and go, oh, I want to buy another Raasay inaugural release. It was so delicious. I'm sorry. It's young. It's overly young, and it's just not my wheelhouse with the Bordeaux red wine casks. Sherry would have been a different thing. Port would have been a different thing. Zoltan would have been a different thing. Palo Catado would have been a different thing. But Bordeaux red wine casks just doesn't tickle my fancy, as I've heard. Good. Going over here to the Man of Sword, they use STR casks. This was full maturation, by the way. 2017. This is cask number 355, bottle number 178. So what I miss here for the inaugural release is the bottle number. Yeah, I know you. Oh, whoops, there it is. I have bottle number 4068. My mistake, my mistake, my mistake. I hope you can see it there. There is the inaugural. Very good, very good. Bottle number 4068. Forgive me, I didn't see it. That's what I expect for inaugural. The afterwards is one of 5,000. It's one of 4,000. It's one of 3,000. We don't need to have that every single time. But the first one, I kind of expected that. Now the question is, what is going to be the real price of Raasay? Of course, I would love to have it be 59 euros. I expect it to be at 79 euros, and I fear that it's going to be 99 euros for the next bottling. We'll see, because people are willing to pay the prices. And why should the companies not be willing then to actually pay off their debts earlier and have more money for investments for the future, if we, the consumers, are so crazy to pay the money needed? This is, as I said, 61.9%. Watch this. Mmm. Mmm. I like. The STR is a tiny little bit of a sawdusty moment, but the basically 62% are so well integrated. It's just like, wow, 3 years old, 62%, give me more. There's no water needed, and that is fantastic. I did another whiskey the other day, right before this one actually. It was 56%, 50. I was like, oh, it's too hot. It's burning. And this was like, another please. This was nice. This 52%, well done. It's not too hot. It's not too weak. Wow. Much better than 46, much better than 48, 52%. Well done for that initial release. If everything's going to be released at 52%, yay, then I would be willing to pay the 79 euros for that, maybe. But still, don't forget, 3 years old, 125 euros. This is 40 euros per year. This is more than Octomore often is. And is it worth it? So this in my book is a C minus. Sorry, I did not like it. This is my book. It fails for the price value ratio. It just doesn't cut it at all. It would have been 99. I would have given a D, but for 125 euros, the inaugural 3-year-old release. And the problem is, I do not dictate the prices. The market does, and the market is willing to pay that and more. And as I said before, my question of the day is, what is your limit for inaugural release of a single malt Scotch? Would you be willing to pay the $100? Or the €100 or the £100, or would you be willing to pay the 150 or the 200 or the 250? Where is the limit where you go, okay, there's a couple thousand bottles being sent to the market. Where would I be willing to pay for this? It's not a single cask. It's not one of 220 bottles. This is something of 7,500 of these hit the market, and they all were gone within days. I must commend Raasay for one last thing. While they were waiting for their own whiskey to be bottled and sold, they built a distribution network with While You Wait, and they tried to pick whiskeys which would actually be very symbolic or very, very similar to the whiskey they want to have in the cask later, in the bottles later on. And I think they did a very good job of actually separating their own juice and the source juice, as well as setting up a network to sell the whiskey worldwide. And bam, they did it the first time very, very nicely with a lot of success. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I'm looking forward to further releases, as I said, with one wash still and one spirit still. They're not going to produce millions of liters, so this is going to be something which will remain in the single malt realm and will remain in the premium price segment in the future, I expect. All right. Thank you very much. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. You may still share this video with all that information I've given you, even though I was not a big fan of the whiskey. I am a fan of the distillery. I am a fan of their marketing, and I am a fan of their ethos. All the best. WhiskyJason here. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tell others. Bye-bye.